Folks, welcome back. I have your York Region numbers for week ending January 10, 2021. We're in the new year. I'm dealing with Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham, and I'm going to talk about the real estate numbers for detached and condos. Before I get started though, please take a second, subscribe below, hit the bell button so you're reminded of these videos. We really appreciate that, and share these. If you see some value in what you hear, please share it with all your friends or anybody you feel could benefit from having this kind of information. Okay, so my name is Santo Sessa. I'm with RE/MAX Premier. I'm a full-time realtor. I'm going to talk to you about the numbers. There's a bunch of data, but I'm also going to be talking about what I'm experiencing in the field working with buyers and sellers every day. Okay, let's get started. Actually, before I really get into things, there's two caveats I got to mention here. One is I'm breaking these down, this data on a weekly basis. And although it gives very accurate and very up-to-date information, on a weekly basis, too many things can skew the numbers one way or another. So if there's a lot of sales of more expensive homes, it seems that, wow, prices went up. Or the reverse, if some of the bigger homes don't get sold, then it seems that average sold price goes down. So because of that, I tend to focus more on, although I like to see the weekly numbers, more on the trend. Which way have we been going? So that's one thing. And two, the fact that the last couple of weeks we had Christmas, then we had New Year's, and we're really just in the first full week of January. We kind of look at those numbers as we're kind of just starting to get going into the year, and yeah, we want to see what happened, but we're really curious as to what the next few weeks hold. So I just wanted to mention that so you don't, make any kind of decisions based on what you see in one single week. Okay, so let's get started with Vaughan Detached homes. The way I've got it broken down here is on a weekly basis. This is average sold price, and I'm kind of covering about 7 months worth of data here, and it's pretty clear. Detached prices for Vaughan, average sold prices have been going up. Now, they've been kind of up and down quite a bit over November and December, and it boils down to some of the homes that some of the buyers that wanted to buy before year end, they kind of get out there and they buy. Some of the homes that have not sold have come off the market, so there's less inventory available and people are buying what's out there, and it kind of changes the numbers a little bit. Many times we'll see some of the more luxury homes, the more expensive homes come off the market. So here's what we're looking at. We see average sold price coming up quite a bit. Now, again, these 3 weeks here, a little bit tricky, especially week ending December 27th, week ending January 3rd, the Christmas and New Year's break. But have a look, our first full week, we did 26 sales for Vaughan of detached homes. And that's like a big jump over the last couple of weeks there. Average sold price just before the new year was down to 1.4 million. Then the week ending January 3rd, here's what I mean. You kind of look at the numbers and go, what happened? There was 17 sales, but the average was like way up there, 1.76. Don't take that as a true average sold price. So the first full week at 1,520,000 kind of falls in line to where we were over the end of November and December. Let's look at it compared to last year. Now, detached, if we look at the whole year from January to December, average price of detached homes for Vaughan has gone up over the course of the year. And there's a video I did just last week on a year-over-year review for the cities in the York region. You should have a look at that. I'm sure the link is over here somewhere. But over the last couple of months here since November, it's pretty straight to see that average sold price is higher for the current year versus 12 months ago, which is the blue. Now, it has been pretty steady in November, but over the course of the year, it has gone up. Looking at sales. Now remember, last year, when we started the year, January and February, before we went into our first lockdown in mid-March, sales was, real estate was off to a really strong start. Like everybody was talking about, wow, this is going to be a crazy banner year. And it still turned out to be, but the lockdown really just kind of, it was like hitting a brick wall. So for a couple months, everything stopped. But January and February last year was strong. So when we look at compared to last year, if we say January last year was strong, look at the sales this year, even stronger than what it was last year. So week ending January 10th, we sold 26 detached homes, which is double than what we sold last year for the same week ending. Listings, we're kind of listing the same. The first week we were listed 16, same as last year. The next week, week ending January 10th, we listed 46, just 3 over what we did the previous year. So sales are higher, listings are about the same. Months of inventory is sitting at 1.7. I'm going to kind of not look so much at the week ending December 27th and January 3rd. And 1.7 is just a little bit lower than what it was for most of December. So it's really curious as over the next few weeks, how is this going to level out and really what's months of inventory sitting at. Okay, so detached properties, condo apartments in Vaughan. Week ending January 10th, we sold 9. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, and it's not a lot, and numbers can be skewed one way or another just with a few sales because the sales are so low. However, 9 is a pretty good start when we see that there were weeks during the year where we sold less than 9. So 9 is a pretty good start. Average sold price at $572,000 kind of sits in line to where it's been for a good part of October, November, and December. So that's, you know, that's what's happening with condos. Average sold price is pretty even. And if we look at the course of the year with condos in Vaughan, average sold price from January to December has come down slightly. It's not like Toronto where it was a bigger dip, but average sold price has come down over the course of the year a little bit. Compared to last year, especially over the last 3 months since November, average sold price, although there's weeks where we're up, we're down compared to 12 months ago, it's kind of evened out. It hasn't really changed much over the last couple of months. And you'll find that 572, 600,000 for the average sold price in condo seems about normal right now. Sales, we're actually selling more last year. We're selling less condos this year out of the gate. Now, when we finished the year off, the last couple of weeks we were selling more. But starting off 2021, we've sold less condos for the same time period than last year. But listings we've sold more, which is the opposite of detached. And months of inventory is sitting at 4.8, which puts us in line to where we were for a good part of December, which puts us into a balanced market type of territory. If you're buying a condo in Vaughan, you're going to have some choices. There's a lot of inventory out there. And it's not like thousands, but there's a lot of inventory compared to how many we're actually buying. Let me put it that way. If you're looking to sell, well, there's competition. It's important that you're pricing properly. It's important that you're aligned. I know I keep repeating this every video, but it's so important to be working with a professional realtor that really understands what's going on out there to help you price it properly and get your home. So you're not sitting on the market for 4 or 5 months, and you could be one of the ones being sold in just a few days. And it's not always about having the lowest price, by the way. Okay, so Richmond Hill. Let's leave Vaughan. We're into Richmond Hill. Detached properties. We sold 10 the first week in the New Year week ending January 3rd. We sold 14 the week after, so sales up slightly. Still not nowhere near we were in the busier in September and October, but we're at 14 sales. We'll see in a minute how that compares to last year. Average sold price is at $1,563,000, which is in line to what it was for, maybe even a little bit higher than what it was for November and December. Compared to last year, detached properties in general have done extremely well over the course of the year, but when we look at January to December for last year, detached prices have gone up slightly. When we look at the last November and December, it's the average price of a detached home in Richmond Hill has kind of stayed flat. It hasn't fluctuated very much. A little bit higher than what it was last year, you could see it here, but it's been pretty steady. Looking at sales, last year this time we sold 6. This year we've sold 14. Listings, a little bit higher than what they were last year. If we average the first 2 weeks, it kind of looks like we're listing the same amount that we listed last year. And months of inventory are sitting at 3.1 months of inventory, which is kind of in line to where we were in December. And you could see here actually the last couple of weeks of December with months of inventory quite low. It shot the price way up. Richmond Hill condos. The very first week ending January 3rd, we sold 4, and then we jumped to 12. Average sold price at $515,000. Kind of, again, it's kind of just a little bit lower than what it was for November and December. Compared to last year, average sold price for condos in Richmond Hill is a little bit higher than what it was the year before, but overall has been pretty flat over the last couple of months. It is down from January over the course of the year, but it's just a gradual decline. Condo prices have fared much better in York region than they have in the city of Toronto, by the way. Okay, so when we're looking at sales, we sold 4 last year at this time. This year we've sold 12 condos in Richmond Hill. Listings are up. Well, it seems to be a normal thing in condos. We're putting more on the market. But because of the sales and the listings and the ratio of active listings, it takes the months of inventory down to 1.6. To me, when I see that, I go, the math says 1.6, but from being in the field, I know that there's just people kind of getting started in the condo business right now, looking to buy, looking to sell. So over the next few weeks, I imagine it's gonna climb a bit and taper off to kind of where it was before in November and December, sitting somewhere around between 3 to 4 months of inventory. And Markham, detached properties in Markham. We've done quite a bit of sales actually. The first week we sold 17, then after that we sold 15, and that's kind of how we ended the week off there. And average sold price really hasn't fluctuated between December and January the way it has in Vaughan and Richmond Hill. So the average sold price for week ending January 10th for Markham is $1,473,000, which is very much in line to where it was before. And if we go back all the way to June, it's been pretty steady. It's hard to say over the last, since June, the last 6 months, that price of detached in Markham has gone up. Over the course of the year it has gone up, but for the last 6 months it has been pretty steady. Compared to last year, we're way up than where we were for last year's average sold prices for detached homes. Sales, way higher. Last year, the very first few days in January, we sold 2, then we sold 9. This year, we've sold 17 and 15 detached homes in Markham. So Markham is off to a very busy start. Listings are less than what they were last year. Months of inventory, in line to where we were for December at 2.3 months of inventory. And condos. Condo prices, I've said, they've been kind of steady in the York region. They haven't really come down the way they have in the city of Toronto. Over the course of the year they have, but they've still been pretty steady over, especially the last 3 to 4 months. And sales, we started off with 9 and has jumped up to 16. Condos are starting to pick up some steam here, and average sold prices is pretty steady compared to where we were when we finished the year off. We're a little bit higher than what we were from last year's average sold price, but we're not we haven't fallen off the cliff here when it comes to condo prices. Sales, we're selling more this year than what we did last year. And remember, last year we started off strong, and this year we've got more sales than what we did. Listings, we're listing more, quite a bit more than what we listed last year. And months of inventory for condos is down to 1.7. I imagine that that's going to change, because that's like, wow, there's going to be some action out there. I imagine this is going to change as we start to see more condo listings out there, and I do expect it to be up in between the 3 to 4 months of inventory, kind of the way it's been for most of November and December. I know I'm going through some of these numbers quite quick. It's the first week of January. Some people are starting to get into the market. There's a lot of questions. It is very active compared to what a normal first 1 or 2 weeks in January are. If you have any questions, please put them below. Give me a call, text and email me. I'm happy to help with whatever you need. My name is Santo Sessa with Remax Premier. Be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.